Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. I'm back at you. It's been a minute. Um, just had some things on my mind, and I thought I would share with the people. Um, I hope somebody out there to listen. If not, sometimes you just have to give the message, and that's what I'm learning more. Let me adjust my camera. That's what I'm learning more. Mm-mm-mm. That's what I'm learning more in my area of growth. And sometimes just get a message. Um, and whatever happens, happens. Or, however, you know, it guides you, or the spirit guides you, or the universe, ancestors. And I titled this Give Thanks. Um, and I was watching a sister's page. And I probably refer to her multiple times. Her name is Sweet Mom. And she kind of motivated me or inspired me to give this message because I've been sitting on this message for a couple of days, and I've been talking to a couple of friends and brothers in my village, and a couple of my friends, and I just been telling them um, how thankful I've been lately. And I don't know if you've been keeping up with my messages, but I mean, on my videos, but honestly, to grow, you have to shed yourself of these insecurities. A lot of times I'll say, I have insecurities, and but I'm not insecure. And a lot of people say, "Well, how is that? How are you that?" Um, this is just my interpretation. This is just my opinion. Insecurities, but not insecure. Everybody has insecurities. I don't give a darn who they are and how much they try to flex and how much they try to pretend that all their stuff in order. Everybody have an insecurity somewhere or another, but you can kind of cope with them. And but to be insecure is to when you're kind of like locked in those insecurities. To where, let's say, if you have trust issues in a relationship, that can be an insecurity. But the insecurities comes in when you want to allow your mate to just have a simple outing, or you want to allow your mate just to chill because you always think there's this underlying motive or this hidden agenda, or you always locked into that insecurity, if that makes sense what I'm saying. Um and one of my biggest insecurities is I have cerebral palsy. And a lot of times, honestly, this is just to be real. A lot of y'all can get at me on my Instagram page. I speak the truth 39. And that's what we have to do. We have to learn to speak the truth. And a lot of times I'm afraid and I hide myself because people make you feel bad. And like I said, I know I hear all the self-righteous people say, it's self-esteem. Nobody can make you feel a certain way, blah, 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 blah. All that good old stuff. But people make you feel terrible. Um, I talk about, and I'm healing, but I talk about like my past relationships. I was in a past relationship, and even still, this person was just. But even still, I'm not gonna kick this sister back in. Um, but it's hard when you with somebody that never really wanted you from the start. And this is some honest stuff because that's like that last video I said, who are we really? Sometimes we are afraid to speak who we are and be real. And we so watered down because we never want people to know what's inside. But I was with this woman and I loved her. I loved her. I loved her children. There was nothing I would have done, I wouldn't have done for this woman. Yes, I had my insecurities. Yes, I was a little uptight. Yes, sometimes my insecurities got the best of me and made me insecure. But I didn't have nothing no other brother didn't have. But when a person just really doesn't want you, and this is what we got to be careful of, fellas. When a sister really just doesn't want, and not even just us, it could be the sisters too. But when a person really don't want you, kind of try to take heed in the beginning. Because throughout those 6.5 years, and I doubt she even really remember how long we were together. But throughout that entire 6.5 years, 3 of those, maybe I should have left it alone after that. I mean, I dealt with infidelity. I dealt with shallowness. I dealt with narcissism. Everything was about her. Everything was her being the victim. Everything was her. I poured into this sister. And yeah, she did some things because you're with a person. But I poured into this sister. And sometimes you don't get back what you feel. You should. And no, I'm not gonna say it's okay because it's not. But they have to be learning curves. So to get to the point of what I'm saying is to give thanks. I mean, I was judged. I didn't, all that time I never literally met her family or physically met her family. I was judged by them from the start. I was judged by them. Here's the funny part about how people think of you when you have a disability. They think that or at least they thought that I was going to be this liability. They thought that I mean, the truth, some things I was just a little bit late on. But when you have maya and you have balance, the thing is the other person is supposed to help you with your weaknesses. Not kick their feet up or act like a spoiled child and like, oh, I know, you had those issues, and we could draw straws and say, hey, you had these issues when I came into it with you. But that's what you do. You help a person heal. I mean, and sometimes, this is why me personally, I want to change the narrative of how people are looked at with disabilities. We're always looked at as lower than, less than, a joke, undesirable, stupid, slow. No, that's not me. I have cerebral palsy. It affects my walking. And I'm trying, and I'm being a little bit more open. And I got some great people around me. I got some great brothers and sisters in my village that they see my condition. Because they tell me, they say, we see it, but they see me. They see this. This is the biggest tool right here. This is the biggest tool. They see what's at here. This is the next biggest tool. I mean, so I'm healing. I went through so many things. I went through my son losing his vision, and this is when I was in a relationship with this person. I went through my son losing his vision, and that person was only thinking about themselves and how they could be. I went through the sickness of my mother, diagnosed with cancer, and this person was around, but they wasn't supportive. I went through the transition and the death of my mother, and this person just was not there. And you know how hard that is? So sometimes one of my flaws is sometimes I'm a little too tough because we have, a lot of sisters, and I get it. They'll pick off a height. They want, broad shoulders, tall, whatever. But what's in here and what's in here? How much do that really matter, ladies? How much do that really matter? That you have a guy that, no, he's not perfect, but he's darn good. And he adores you. But he's just not your type, or he's not what you physically attracted to. I mean, and this is not a knock. I'm not a Kevin, whatever his name is, here to point fingers of blame. I'm here just to talk truth. and to give thanks from what I'm healing through. To give thanks. Because this time last year, I was out of it. And you know what she was doing while I was out of it? She was chasing another man, married man. So, needless to say, I woke up, after she told me I need to, leave her life alone, and didn't even offer me friendship. And this is not about her, but this is just about the release of how sometimes you get aligned in the wrong situations. And you don't know because of your lower level self, because so many people you could be, a lot of times I'm the most, and I'm gonna toot my horn, a lot of times I'm the most in tune, intelligent brother, a lot of times in the room. Never get picked, never even get looked at. I'm not gonna say picked because my mom would always say, "You're not a flower to be picked." So, what I want to give thanks for, I said all that to say that people judge you. People judge you and they go to look for what's desirable for them. And a lot of times, they pick based off of what other people think. A lot of times, how do I want to say that? A lot of times their type or preference isn't necessarily always for them. It's how the other people, the outside people. That's why they're ashamed. They're ashamed of how other people are gonna interpret them being with you. So they do this for them. It's a self-gratifying thing for them and for other people. It's kind of like twofold. But give thanks because I was talking to my cousin. He's like an older brother to me, and he called me the other day and he said, "How you doing, bro?" I said, "Honestly, cousin, I'm doing good." I slowed down because sometimes we're in the rat race. Sometimes we're in this rat race, and sometimes we're focused on all of the negative things, focused on all of the negative things that